Hello and welcome. This is Misheard Song Lyrics Podcast. I'm Misheard, and you're listening or tuning in to Season 3, Episode 129, our first ever Lorde misheard song lyric. The misheard lyric is, "You can call me Green Bean," and then the correct lyrics is, "You can call me Queen Bee." Sounds pretty close. So I've had many conversations in other episodes that explain misheard song lyrics usually break into two categories, whether it be food or sex. This one is definitely under the food category with the green bean misheard song lyric. All right, let's talk about Royals. So Royals is a debut single by New Zealand singer-songwriter Lorde. It's included in her debut extended player EP, The Love Club, back in 2012. That's already 10 years ago, guys. Oh my God. A debut studio album from Pure Heroin back in 2013. She wrote the song with producer Joel Little, and it is what they call a minimalist art pop and electric pop song with influences of some hip hop, R&B, and indie pop. They say that the track lyrics express disapproval with the lifestyle presented in songs and music videos by pop and hip hop artists throughout. So, electropop, what is it? It's a hybrid music genre combining elements of electric or electronic and pop genres. Writer Holland Jones has described it as a variant of synth pop because there's a heavy emphasis on its electronic sound. The genre was developed in 1980s and saw a revival of popularity in the late 2000s. So let's start with who is Lorde? What is her real name? So she was born Ella Marija Lani Yellock O'Connor. Wow, back on November 7th, 1996. And of course, she's known as Lorde. And Lorde is spelled with an Lorde, and we'll talk about in a second. And like I mentioned earlier, she's a New Zealand singer-songwriter. She took her inspiration with her stage name from the British aristocracy for her stage name, like I said. And she's known for using unconventional music styles and actually introspective songwriting. There's a lot of deep thoughts in her lyrics. And again, I mentioned earlier that she's primarily electropop, and she has some subgenres of dream pop and indie electro. She was born in an Auckland suburb of Takapuna, hopefully I'm saying it right, and raised in a neighboring Devonport. So those of you listening down under in the New Zealand area, shout out to you. I have a friend that I've known since we started doing marathon training that lives now there with her family, and she's an American. So she expressed interest in performing in local venues in her early teens, and she actually was signed on with Universal Music Group, or UMG, in 2009. And like I said, collaborated with this Joel Little. And she initially had it as her self-release in 2012 for a free download on SoundCloud. Wow, who knew how big it was going to be? And then UMG commercially released the pair's first collaborative effort, an EP called The Love Club, like I said, in 2013, and it hit international chart-topping hits, especially with the song we're talking about today, Royals, which put her into the zeitgeist. Her debut album, Pure Heroin, was released that same year to a lot of critical and commercial success. And the following year, I didn't realize this, she actually helped with the soundtrack for the very popular 2014 film, The Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 1, and recorded several tracks, including the single Yellow Flicker Beat. And then in 2017, she had a second studio album called Melodrama that still received some widespread critical acclaim and debuted atop the US Billboard 200 with her latest work called Solar Power that came in 2021, so just last year, entered the charts in various countries and polarized both critics and public due to its departure from her Lorde's previous sound. So how did she do? Obviously well. She has won 2 Grammy Awards, 2 Brit Awards, and a Golden Globe nomination. She appeared in Time's list of the most influential teenagers in 2013 and 2014, and the 2014 edition of Forbes 30 Under 30. In addition to her solo work, she has also co-written songs for other artists, I didn't know that, including Broods and The Bleachers, put a pin on that. And as of June 2017, Lorde has sold over 5 million albums worldwide. So I mentioned The Bleachers. Those of you might know, they are actually an American indie pop act from New Jersey, and the official stage name of songwriter and record producer Jack Antonoff. If that name rings a bell, it does to me. He was a former bandmate in the band called Fun with an exclamation part. Remember this band that did really big in 2012 on Some Nights was the name of that album. It was their second. because of their number one hit, We Are Young, featuring Janelle Monáe. So lots of connections there. And according to the Bleacher site or Wikipedia on it, their pop music is also heavily influenced on modern production techniques. And their debut single, I Want to Get Better, was released in February 2014, followed by 3 studio albums called Strange Desire in 2014, Gone Now in 2017, and Take the Sadness Out of Saturday Night 2021. So back to Lorde. How did she get her name? Because obviously that is her stage name. It is because she has this fascination with royals and aristocracy, which a lot of us do. I'm entranced by it. She added the E, here's the reason why, after the name Lorde, which she felt was too masculine, to make it more feminine. She described her public image as something that naturally came to her and was identical to her real life personality. She also identifies as a feminist. The New Zealand Herald opined or mentioned that her feminist ideology was different from her contemporaries due to Lorde's disinterest in sexualized performance. It's very true. She proclaimed herself in an interview with V Magazine as a hugely sex-positive person, saying, quote unquote, I have nothing against anyone getting naked. I don't think it really would complement my music in any way or help me to tell a story better. And she's kind of paved the way for others like Billie Eilish and other alternative rockers after her, that, it's not just, hey, I have to show my body, I have to do all these dance moves, I have to show how sexy I am. It's just, here's the music. Love it or leave it. I love it. The other did you know that I found really interesting is how very philanthropic she is. The Love Club was included in the 2013 charity album Songs for the Philippines, which where I'm from, born and from, to support the people in the Philippines who suffered from the Typhoon Haiyan. And also in 2015, Lorde recorded Team Ball Player Thing, a charity single, as part of the super group Kiwis Cure Batten. All sales from the song went towards research to the cure of Batten disease, a fatal neurodegenerative disorder. See, there you go. And then later on that year, she was featured in the compilation album, The Art of Peace, Songs for Tibet, 2, to raise funds for the preservation of the Tibetan culture. Very self-aware. And then the following year, she made a New Zealand donation of $20,000 to Fuel the Need, a New Zealand charity that provides lunches for underprivileged school children. Oh my God, you go, Lorde. And then in 2018, she donated $5,000 New Zealand to Starship Hospital to fund the purchase of 5 new portable neurology monitors. She became also the patron of Music Helps, forming the New Zealand Music Foundation, a musical charity helping New Zealanders who are vulnerable to the experiencing of serious health issues, back in November 2018. So she has done a lot. I love to hear that stuff. So a little bit more about, back to the song, Royals. It, of course, did quite well. It received widespread acclaim from music critics who praised it for its songwriting, production, and Lorde's vocal performance. Since its release, the track has appeared on critics' year-end and decade-end song singles. The single attained international chart successes, reaching number 1 in Belgium, the Republic of Ireland, Israel, Italy, New Zealand, and Spain, Sweden, Canada, and the UK. And in the US, obviously it did well. It spent 9 weeks atop our Billboard Hot 100 and was certified diamond by our Recording Industry Association of America, the RIAA, which I love to say. Sold around 10 million units worldwide, making it one of the best-selling singles of all time. It was also the second most consumed song of 2013 in New Zealand and is certified 9 times platinum in Australia, 7 times platinum in Canada, and 6 times platinum in New Zealand. In the media, the song has been credited for inspiring some artists to adopt its minimalist sound and has been called an anthem for millennials. Like I said, Billie Eilish and others that have come after her definitely opened the door. The song itself won awards for Song of the Year and Best Pop Solo Performance at the 2014 Grammy Awards and the APRI Silver Scroll Award. She performed roles on her Pure Heroine 2013 and 2014 and Melodrama 27-2018 World Concert Tours. And again, critics have credited the song for paving the way for other alternative leading pop artists. So what is Royals about? So back in 2009, and our representative Scott McLaughlin of Universal Medical Groups, or EMG, I mentioned earlier, discovered the then 12-year-old Lorde when he saw footage of her performing at a school talent show, in Auckland, New Zealand. Then at the age of 13, Lorde began writing songs. And then in December of 2011, after several unsuccessful sessions with songwriters, producers, McLaughlin paired Lorde with Joel Little, which I mentioned earlier, a singer and guitarist of the New Zealand punk band Goodnight Nurse. Her vocal performance and songwriting abilities impressed Little, who composed songs with musical structures that were based on her lyrics. When she wrote the lyrics to Royals in about half an hour, amazing, at her home back in July of 2012, and during a school break, she and Little recorded this song at Golden Age Studios in Auckland just in 1 week. That's the lightning in the bottle right there. And did you know that Lorde and Little wrote songs for the EP, the Love Club EP, in 3 weeks? Again, the title Royals came to Lorde after she saw a 1976 photograph of Kansas City Royals baseball player George Brett signing baseballs and his team names Royals emblazoned on his shirt. She said during a VH1 interview in September 2013, "It was just that word, it's really cool." And of course, of her love of the aristocracy and monarchs such as Marie Antoinette and Henry VIII also inspired the song with her stage name. She said the lyric about driving Cadillacs in dreams came from a diary entry she wrote when she was 12. I'll talk about manifesting your dreams, right? She also said she took inspiration from pop and hip hop influences such as ASAP, Rocky, Drake, Lana Del Rey, Nicki Minaj, Kanye West, and Jay-Z, and particularly West and Jay-Z's 2011 collaborative album Watch the Throne. During the songwriting process, she criticized her references to extravagant alcohol and cars, which did not represent her reality. And then which leads to the very stark contrast of her music video. If you watch it recently, I did, it follows just 2 white dudes in the beginning and then several more later on in some like beige colored nondescript apartment, boxing in 1 minute, which cuts back and forth with just Lorde singing some of the verses to the camera. Not a lot on Lorde. Then cutting to one of them in the pool and then giving each other their own buzz cuts and then hanging with friends in front of a train. You know, nothing showy, nothing crazy. It was directed by Joel Cafali and premiered on Lorde's YouTube channel on May 12th back in 2013. Since its release, it's around 800 million views. And Slant placed the video at number 3 on their list of the best videos of 2013, noting her absence from it, quote unquote, speaks to both the 16-year-old's postcode shame and her friend's suburban teen ennui. The video also won the award for Best Rock Video at the 2014 MTV Music Awards, and critics were divided over its placement in the rock category. It received a nomination for Best Female Video in the MTV Awards ceremony, but lost to then 2014 Katy Perry's Dark Horse. Then Royals won Best Music Video at the 2013 New Zealand Music Awards. Whoa, lots to unpack there. We have who Lorde is, how she got her name, how quick it took for her to write Royals, why she called it Royals, because of one of our baseball players from the Kansas City Royals, seeing a picture of that, isn't that crazy? And how philanthropical she is. I love that she keeps giving back, and I'm excited to see where else she's going to be popping up, because, you know, she's so young still. There's so much more creativity that's coming out of it. And I also love that the misheard song lyric sounds like she's saying, "You can call me green bean." Oh, green beans. I love green beans. Anyway, if you got some great suggestions like this misheard song lyric, please send it to us. You can send it to any of our social media sites like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can also email us at our Gmail at misheard, that's MISSHEAARD songs@gmail.com. And we would love to give you a shout out, which we've done in the past episodes. Till then, keep singing those songs wrong. Bye.